guys, Miss Pablo here. Hope you guys are doing good. You can see Sienna's hand project behind me. Kind of cool. A little sweaty because I went outside today. Hopefully you make some time to get outside. It's hot today though. So, your challenge for today. All right, so you made these words last time. So again, we have fast and faster, or fast and fastest. And your challenge is going to be to show me an example of these words. So I'll show you some later, okay? Some examples, and then you can see how you might make your own to send back to me. So that was fast. Also, we have tall, taller, tall, and tallest. Don't forget, taller is more tall. Tallest is the most tall. Who's the most tall in your family? We've got slow and slowest, or slow and slower. So that's going to be an interesting one to come up with. You're going to have new and newer, new and newest, cold, coldest, cold and colder. How are we going to make examples of these? And if you do a really good job and I get some of them, maybe I can splice them together and you guys will have the video, kind of like last week we had the baker and the farmer were different people. I can put you guys together to make it. So I'm going to show you some examples of how you can possibly create these. I'm going to start with tall, tallest, and taller. First example, I'm going to show you how to make tall, taller, and tallest. So I have three ways that I can make it. One, is I grabbed a pile of Legos and I can take those Legos and build one that's tall, one that's taller, and one that's tallest. I'll do that in a second. And put those to the side. Now, the other one is I grab some toys. And Sienna likes unicorns. So I even found a Lego unicorn. Here's my Lego unicorn. Very tiny. So that's tiny. This one is tall compared to the tiny one. And then I think this one is the next biggest. This one is taller. And my last one, oh, not going to see them unless I move this, is the tallest. So I now have tall, taller, and tallest. So again, way to give myself an example. The last one, if you have a piece of paper, you can still do this. So get your piece of paper out and draw tall, taller, and tallest. So what do I want to draw that's tall, taller, and tallest? Well, it's a little bit harder because I have to hold the camera at the same time, but maybe I draw this one's the tall one, this one's the taller, and this one is the tallest. And I could make those into buildings. So maybe I put a roof on the top, draw a window, lots of windows in this one, and this one maybe has like a really tall building that has like an antenna on the top. Not sure if you've seen some of those really tall buildings. In Chicago, where I grew up, they have two really tall buildings. They have like radio spires that are on the top that make them really, really tall. Anyway, you've now got tall, taller, and tallest. And maybe you draw yourself down here so you can just see, wow, look, that is really tall. So that was an example of how to do tall, taller, and tallest. What can you think of for like fast, faster, and fastest? Could you have a race between some of your family? Okay, I've got a couple ways to show cold, colder, and coldest. And one, you actually get to learn about temperatures. Okay, so next to my tall, taller, and tallest, I drew three Mr. Pablos. Those three Mr. Pablos are in different temperatures. And we here in the United States like to look at our temperature in Fahrenheit. So just that's a word for you for today, Fahrenheit. So the lower the temperature, the colder it is. So I could say that, oh, and the temperature for freezing in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. It doesn't get below 32 degrees very often here in the Bay Area. So we could say that this Mr. Pablo, he's cold, he's at about 50 degrees. Though again, Any of you that know Mr. Pablo knows he barely even wears a sweatshirt even when it's 50 degrees. Well, let's make sure this one's colder. So if the lower the temperature, the colder Mr. Pablo is, what temperature would be below 50 degrees? Well, I might say 40. That's a pretty easy one. I went down by 10. So this Mr. Pablo is colder than that one. Now, what's the coldest Mr. Pablo going to be? I just told you that 32 degrees is freezing. That's the temperature at which water freezes. Well, guess what? Put Mr. Pablo here at 32 degrees. I don't think it's actually been 32 degrees here in the Bay Area, and it definitely is not today. In fact, what is the temperature today? According to my thermometer, the temperature is 60 degrees right now. So it's plenty warm outside right now. But you have cold Mr. Pablo, colder Mr. Pablo, and coldest. So that's one way to do it with drawing. So another way we can do cold, colder, and coldest is by using the refrigerator. So this bottle of water is not in the refrigerator. So it's probably somewhere around the temperature that's in the house, which I told you before is like probably about 60, 65 degrees. Anyway, but I also put one bottle in the fridge, and I used the tornadoes that we made. Oh, this one definitely feels colder. So this is colder, and I can move this and put this down, and it'll say colder. That one was in the fridge. I put one of the other bottles that I used for the tornado in the freezer. Oh, and if you feel it, you definitely know that this one is the coldest. So I've just given you a couple examples of how I made the words. Now it's your job to go figure out how you can make the words. So really think, how am I going to make fast, faster, and fastest? How am I going to show tall, taller, and tallest? How am I going to show cold, colder, and coldest? How am I going to show new, newer, and newest? Maybe you pick one, maybe you like a lot of them, and you want to do each one. Send me a picture, send me a video, show me on Seesaw, anything you can do to show us the words, and hopefully we can take some of them, put them together, and send them out to your classmates. Good luck!